China's pledge to reach carbon neutrality by 2060 will have far-reaching global consequences. Hector Pollitt is the head of modelling at Cambridge Econometrics. He told me that the commitment would not only shave global warming projections by 0.25 degrees Celsius, but also raise China's GDP.
So we carried out a modelling-based study to look at the impacts of China meeting its net zero target, both from an environmental perspective, but also from an economic perspective. Now, the modelling done in quite a lot of detail showed just the magnitude of the task that China faces in phasing out fossil fuels and reducing CO2 emissions. A lot of investment will be required for that, and this is what creates the economic stimulus effect that we see. So that's the impacts within China. We also looked at the rest of the world as well, so countries that export fossil fuels to China will inevitably take a bit of a hit. But we do see as a result, say, lower oil prices around the world as well because of reduced demand from China, which could benefit countries, say, in Europe, for example. And cheaper renewable costs as a result of all the investment that China is making, which will lead to further decarbonisation for other countries around the world.
How that will affect China economically?
Yeah, this is a really important question because what we see from the work that we do as economists, there's going to be a lot of investment to meet this goal. The power sector alone will need to spend almost $4 trillion to meet the goal. So all of this extra investment that will be needed, particularly within the power sector, but also things like electric vehicles, energy efficient equipment, this is going to add up, and there's going to be a big stimulus effect throughout the Chinese economy because of this, and a lot of jobs could be created in these new sectors. So overall, sort of short run effects, 4 to 5% increase in GDP, that is our current estimate. Longer term, there will also be benefits. Okay, the investment will be in place by then, but by importing smaller amounts of fossil fuels and eventually no fossil fuels, and this also boosts China's trade balance, again leading to a stimulus effect on its economy.
All change has winners and losers. Who will be the victims of this change?
Yeah, you're absolutely right that in any transition, there will inevitably be a combination of winners and losers. Here, really the losers will be companies and individuals that are linked to the current fossil fuel-based infrastructure. Now, in China, that means large numbers of people that are working in the coal sector, so literally millions of people that will need to be found either alternative employment and possibly in a different location. I think outside China as well, we shouldn't forget that the Middle Eastern countries and other fossil fuel exporters, they're also going to see lower demand for their products and will take an economic hit.
Will China be self-reliant in its decarbonisation efforts in terms of technology and equipment needed?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I think the answer is, in this sort of general level, it will never be possible to be entirely self-reliant. But we are seeing that moving from an economic model where there are large amounts of fossil fuels being imported to something more renewables-based, where a lot of the equipment will be produced within China. I think it is reasonable to say that China will become more self-reliant, if not entirely self-reliant.